Nervous now. It's been a long time. Right. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2. Hello. Welcome back to Red Army Reaction. It's been quite a while. It's been a long, hot summer.
It has. It has.
We've not done any of the things we said we were going to do.
No, I think in my head, I had all these grand plans for summer because I was sort of treating it like the summer holidays.
Yeah.
And then I still had to go to work every day.
Yeah.
And also we've been quite busy. So we've just not bothered.
Yeah. We said we'd do some...
We don't list it all, you know. We don't want to remind people what we've not done.
Well, one thing we nearly did was episodes of other podcasts.
Which we might go back to.
Still do that at some point, yeah. But we've not done it yet.
No, I'm a fan of that idea.
Yeah, me too. We also nearly did a World Cup of beers.
Yeah, we thought about that for a bit. There's just
Didn't
too much
do it.
logistics. Also,
Too much money.
48
drinks cost quite a lot.
Yeah, and we'd have to source, you know,
We have to get on the
Iranian beers and stuff, which I don't think they have.
Could have an
many of.
Iranian tea or something.
Yeah.
You know, palate cleanser.
Yeah.
Well, maybe for the next World Cup. You know, we've got a bit more time to plan it
it'll
now.
be 64 teams, maybe. That's
Maybe.
the proposal. And also, England might be boycotting it at this rate.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
Yes.
Crazy world.
Is that us? Have we officially
That's what's
covered the Infantino scandal?
Yeah,
there,
I think
you
so,
know?
yeah. It's crazy times.
How have you been over the summer? Other than busy, it seems.
I've had a good summer. Busy. Lots of travel,
Oh, yeah.
you know. But,
How the other half live?
oh, you know. How have you been?
Well, we've been filling our Monday nights with a different kind of football.
We have, yeah.
We've been playing five-a-side.
That playing's generous. You know, for...
I've been playing five-a-side. You've been sort of, wandering about the pitch.
All right, you know, it's been an awakening.
Yes.
I think I always thought that if I ever tried properly at football, I'd be fine. And that doesn't appear to be the case. I'm quite rubbish and extremely unfit. But I think I'm moving in the right direction.
Yeah, out of practice.
Yeah.
When you used to play Sunday League, you'd be training every week, playing 90 minutes every week. Well,
no.
your teammates would be playing 90 minutes every week.
Yeah.
But, practicing, playing at school maybe.
Yeah, yeah. But I think we're moving in the right direction. Like I say,
Yeah.
it's good fun. It's a good group of lads.
Yeah. I think we've slotted in quite well.
It's good fun. It's good for the heart. Good exercise. I do feel like I'm going to die after about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But that should improve over the weeks.
Yes. I hope you don't feel like that during the podcast.
No, my stamina for podcasting has been honed over many weeks to be. I think I'm at peak level podcasting.
Right.
Obviously, I've got a bit of summer rust.
We've not had a pre-season.
No,
really.
No. We've spoken to each other.
We have about football a little
bit. That's sort of like pre-season training.
Yeah.
We did it abroad.
We had a warm weather training camp.
We did. Mainly talking bollocks, which is good practice for the podcast.
Yes. We don't talk enough bollocks on here, really.
No, it's very matter of fact sometimes. Some people would say too matter of fact. I'm not, we've not had any criticism. That's my reading. We're all set for the new season.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out a schedule, really, if we're now playing football on Mondays.
And United are playing midweek as well.
Yeah.
That's going to be...
United did play a lot on Mondays last season, which messed up our schedule a bit.
Yeah,
but
so
us
we're
playing
used to
Mondays.
Adapted.
Yeah.
We'll play it by ear.
We will have to,
There was never a regular release schedule anyway,
No.
which I'd like to get a little bit more consistent with the releases.
But that'll be harder with United playing.
It will.
We don't know. We're not planning on doing 2 a week, I don't think, when United are playing twice a week.
No, I think it might end up being a review the weekend game, preview the midweek game.
Yeah, but then surely we'll have to...
And then sort of cover the midweek game, the last midweek. We don't play midweek games every week. So some weeks will be cover last week's midweek game and preview the weekend game.
Yeah.
Some will be, we'll play it. We'll
be flexible,
I don't think people have come to us for rigid formatting.
No, I hope not.
And consistency.
They've come to the wrong place. If they go to my Excel spreadsheets, that's for rigid formatting, but not here.
Okay.
This is where like
it's not conditional formatting.
It is actually a lot of it, yeah.
Which is what we're aiming for here.
Yes.
It's just Don't know if I can leave this in.
Yeah. We're definitely rusty.
Yeah, but this is the pre-season pod to shake off the cobwebs.
Yeah, it's always been a bit rambling,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
wouldn't want that to change. So that's the first of our topics covered. Let me.
What topic was that?
That was us playing
It was
football.
nonsense.
Done. I've got a long list. We've got a lot to catch up on, and we'll probably rattle through them and then just be done. World Cup. How was that? It was all right, wasn't it? Watched a bit of England.
It was all right, and then it was good and building, and then it wasn't.
Is that
that's an England as an England fan.
England supporter?
I think because of the schedule and the hours, and also the performances, it took a couple of weeks for people to get into it. I think if we'd have gone out against DR Congo, I think it probably would have been the least engaging World Cup campaign certainly in my lifetime.
Yeah, which we very well could have done. To go out in a round of 32 would be
after not winning all your group games.
Yeah,
winning the draw in the group.
2 wins in a draw.
2 wins in a draw. Sorry, would have been, like I say, down there with the most disappointing World Cups of all time.
Yeah.
So it was looking at that point like a bit bleak, and that was the first game that people really watched was the Congo game, and we weren't very good.
Yeah.
And then it sort of took off a bit after that. With Mexico,
I think, even though that was the least convenient scheduling, that was supposed to be at 1 in the morning, was moved to 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
That really engaged everyone, the whole nation, I think, in this England team.
Yeah, it's been called one of England's greatest ever World Cup results. Do you agree with that? Do you think in our lifetimes, how does it compare to, let's see, well, I don't know. It was a good team who played well and we beat them.
It was a quite good team, but they weren't a great team.
No.
The fact that we were playing them in Mexico
yes.
made it harder with the, altitude issues and obviously them having a home crowd. And we didn't blow them away. We very nearly threw away a 2-goal lead before we went down to 10 men. And when we were hanging on at 3-2, they didn't threaten very much because they're not a very good side.
Yeah.
But it was still a great result. It was a great moment, great resilience.
Yeah, I think the moment outweighs the actual minutiae of the performance.
I don't really... This is part of what I might go into about caring a lot less about England than United.
Yeah.
I don't really care about that. I think England won, and it was really enjoyable that England won.
Yeah.
And that's tournament football. We got over the line. In the knockout of a World Cup, I'm not bothered about people saying after the game, oh, well, they're just a not very good Mexico side. We obviously should have beat them anyway.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything, really.
No, it was special. And
I think you can compare it to the Lyon game in the Europa League for United, where the actual game and obviously the game was amazing, but the performance was quite poor from United.
Yeah.
Let too much go. Could have easily gone out. Rode their luck. But the high of coming through that means that you don't really care about any of that.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's amazing to come through it. And I think they also both suffer from what happened later in the tournament.
Yeah.
Which sort of takes the shine off them as well.
Yeah, going out with a whimper.
Yeah.
I think we felt slightly differently. We didn't watch it together, the semi-final. But part of me was thinking, when we went 1-0 up, when Gordon scored, I was happy, obviously.
Yeah.
But a part of me was thinking, I'd be so much happier if this was United in a semi-final of a Champions League, for example.
I think that's fair. I don't know if I would say I would be so much happier. No, I would. I struggle because I have such fleeting memories of United being great.
Being at the very top. The World Cup semi-final is as big as it gets.
It's been so long that I think... But it's been so long for England as well. But, we've had World Cup semi-finals. We have a World Cup final.
Yeah.
Have we had a World Cup final?
No.
We've had World Cup semi-finals in recent history. So, I think the thought that... And I think you saw it in the Arsenal fans this summer, at the end of the season as well. The thought that you might finally get there, from a United point of view, would be better, I think.
Yeah.
We don't know about what the sort of mood around winning it would do for the country and do for, how it would lift everyone.
Yeah.
And I know it's more unifying if England win. But yeah, I think a Champions League semi-final over a World Cup semi-final, I think is fair.
For me personally, I would care a lot more about that. Obviously when the World Cup's on, I want England to win it, but I only care about England for those 3 weeks. Whereas United, I care about even during the World Cup. I care about United the whole time.
Yeah,
I care about United year round, and I care about England every other year for a few weeks.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's not had as long to build up to that, you know.
It was. I watched the semi-final in Sicily, which you would think, having had of all the major European nations, the worst World Cup performance for the last 2 decades, you would think the Italians would be more humble, but we got quite a lot of stick from the Italians when we went out.
Yeah.
To which I can't. I mean, you can sort of shout back and be like, "Well,
you're not
even there."
But
when you've just gone out, they don't really care. It's
just like when
City go out the Champions League,
when Arsenal
we're not in it.
lost the Champions League final and we weren't in it, we don't care. Arsenal fans could come back and say,
"You're not even in
it. Don't care. You've just lost."
Yeah. So it was quite frustrating.
Were they? Because there's a lot of immigration between Italy and Argentina.
Yeah.
Were they? Do you think it was just that they were laughing at England losing, or were they?
They weren't actively
Argentina?
celebrating Argentina, right?
Okay.
Not in the nature of their jests.
Their main agenda was anti-England.
England will have to wait for another.
That is our reputation, you know.
Yeah, and that's we come to accept that.
Yeah.
We very nearly missed the game because we were wandering through Sicily looking for somewhere that was showing it, and we showed the picture of the match. You know, we'd Googled the game, and it showed like England and then Argentina, and we showed that to a local to try and get them to lead us to a bar that was showing it. And they saw the England flag and thought we wanted an all-night pharmacy, and so marched us sort of 20 minutes through the city, feeling really bad because they thought we were desperate for a pharmacy.
Yeah,
we felt quite bad because we worked out what was going on, and we were like, "This woman is taking us somewhere completely random." And then when we got to the pharmacy, that turned out to not be the late night one because
they took us to the wrong pharmacy as well.
Yeah, they have a rotation system where, like, of the 5 pharmacies in the city, they do like a month on being the late night pharmacy. It turns out that 2 doors down from the late night pharmacy that wasn't open was a bar showing the England game with 6 seats set up opposite the telly. That worked very well.
Yeah,
so fortune was on our side.
Yeah,
and then we went out.
Yeah, so you used up all your luck with
that.
Yeah. For one of the games, I don't think it was the semi-final, but I watched it in the same pub as I watched the semi-final.
Yeah.
They had a acoustic guitarist singer on
during the match.
Well, no. They had him on for the half an hour leading up to the match.
Okay.
Which I didn't want.
No.
I would have rather had him half an hour before the half an hour leading up to the match.
Yeah.
To get the atmosphere going, but then you can get excited for the match. It was right up to the second the game kicked off. Nice. And he kept saying about how he wasn't going to be playing Sweet Caroline or Wonderwall or anything until after the game, you know.
Right.
And then at half time, the second it went to half time, he started again. And, you know, I don't do that kind of thing. I play the guitar, but I don't play in pubs and stuff.
No.
I think you should have at least 45 minutes worth of material, surely, unless this is your first gig. And he played the same songs as he played before the game. He played She Moves in Her Own Way by the Kooks twice. And he played Dirty Old Town, but he only knew one of the verses, so he just did that 3 times and then stopped.
So he didn't even have half an hour.
No.
He had to repeat some of
that. And then he carried on he didn't realise the game had kicked off, so he was halfway through a song and had to stop when everyone had to go. So that wasn't... And then he was right back on the second the game finished as well. I'm like, I want to watch the interviews and stuff, but I suppose if you watch it in a pub, you get a little bit of that, but it's not what I would have gone for, you know.
No, I was in an Irish bar in town once who had an acoustic singer on who did 45 minutes, but hadn't coordinated with the other acoustic singer who came on 10 minutes after he finished, and they did all the same songs.
The same Irish songs.
Yeah, it was very annoying.
Yeah.
And I was sure you can imagine I was very well-natured and not mean-spirited about it at all.
Yes, yeah.
Not a vintage World Cup from a United point of view.
No, not really.
And Ahmad had an okay tournament.
Yeah.
Scored a great goal.
I don't know how he didn't start in the game they went out.
No, just went out with a bit of a whimper against Norway.
Yeah.
Bruno, poor tournament.
Well, he's playing behind a 40-year-old man. So.
Yes. Yeah. Kobbie, not a minute.
Yeah.
Rashford scored a goal.
Yeah.
And then wasn't really used again for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah. You said you would have felt bad. This was when you were still in your United mode before you'd gone into England mode. If England had won it, that Maguire and Luke Shaw weren't in the squad. Do you stand by that? Would you still? Because I think I would still feel bad. I felt a bit bad for him when he was doing the rest is football, having to talk about the squad and stuff. And obviously, you got to take the gig, keep your hand in. But I would feel bad about that. But I would try not to let that affect my enjoyment of England winning the World Cup.
Yeah, I think I would have. I missed him. I think when Dan Burn came on and was winning all those headers, I was thinking it should have been him.
Yeah,
it should have been Maguire. And Maguire's a good lad. Maguire can do stupid dances and do a quiz and stuff. That's surely what Dan Burn was there for.
But I think people were saying that the way Maguire reacted to not being in the squad was an example of why he wasn't in the squad.
And there's an argument that it cost him the spot that went to Trevor Chalobah because Trevor Chalobah isn't. If Maguire was as close as it was made out that he was, on the list for the squad, you would assume he would have been in the conversation to come in and replace Livramento.
Yeah, maybe Maguire would have been too proud anyway. And said,
maybe.
I don't think you can afford to be like that as a top-level footballer, really.
You'd massively regret it if they then won it, if you turned down the cap.
But also, Trevor Chalobah didn't play until he came on in the third place playoff.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure Maguire, in hindsight, isn't that gutted that he didn't go,
I know, and they don't talk about it, I think a World Cup winners' medal is a World Cup winners' medal, and I think they don't, when, they tweet that a member of the 1966 squad has passed away, they don't say, but he didn't really play.
Yeah, he didn't get on the pitch.
I think you would.
Because they didn't all get medals originally.
No, Pele got his World Cup medal for 58 in 1993.
Yeah.
Because they didn't. He
didn't play in the final.
Yeah, you only got a medal if you played in the final. He got injured in the first game.
Still, he played in the first game.
I know, but saying he's the 3 times World Cup winner.
Yeah.
But by the modern rules, he is a 3 times World Cup winner.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like that have changed. Like if you get sent off in a final. They've changed all the rules, so you're very unlikely to be suspended for the final now.
Yeah.
And if you get sent off in the final and you win it, you just come straight back out and get your medal and trophy.
And they've also,
it's a lot nicer to the players now.
The rules are also seemingly no longer the hard and fast thing that we thought they were.
The
with this tournament with Gianni. He'd already commuted sentences for suspensions for players. Ronaldo was supposed to have a 2-match ban going into this tournament, and that was suspended till after the tournament.
Yeah. And then they got rid of 2 others, presumably because... clearly they did it for Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Because he's Ronaldo. And then after that, they were like, we should probably have to get rid of those 2 other players' suspensions as well. I can't remember who they were, but...
Yeah. But I also think it's quite telling that there was a bit of uproar from UEFA when they changed the rules and allowed a suspended player to play.
Yeah.
And then when there was a scheme involving money and the UEFA losing power, they then massively kicked off and boycotted and, throw all their toys out the pram, which I think shows where UEFA's priorities are, but also Gianni's priorities are clearly not aligned with football fans in general.
Yeah. And the thing with the Balogun thing, a lot of American fans in particular were saying it was never a red card, so it's justice. But it doesn't matter. It's not the worst red card that's ever been given, and there's no appeals process with FIFA red cards.
No.
So if you get a red card, it doesn't matter whether it's a red card, you are suspended.
Yeah, and there's
apart from in this case.
Yeah, there's a pretty linear relationship, or there used to be a pretty set relationship that was there's a bloke who stands in the middle of the pitch, and if he decides it's a red card, it's a red card.
Yeah.
And then presumably they had to introduce appeals at some point for a particularly egregious example.
Yeah.
So now in certain competitions you can appeal, and but you don't get to come back on.
The game's lost. So the game's happened.
But then now we have VAR where there's a consensus opinion between several referees, which should hope not to start us early on this, but to get to the point where all the referees watching the game can agree that you have been, you deserve to go off, and then somebody completely unrelated to the game can disagree with that and unilaterally overrule it. It's not a great position to be in.
It's not.
And you'd hope that we don't go further down this line.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, well, I don't know about thankfully, but Infantino has done FIFA have done a lot of stuff since then to make it much worse, the sort of corruption and the damage they're doing to the game. So that one, maybe that was just like the first brick falling, you know.
I think I've seen it compared to the Super League moment where, you know, you can sort of boil the frog and sort of keep pushing and, you know, that's what the big clubs have done and that's what UEFA have done and that's what FIFA have done, and keep pushing the rules, keep commercializing the game, keep concentrating money, and then you do one thing too far and everyone kicks off. And Super League was the one thing too far, and they've rode right back. Admittedly, all of the sort of promises they made after that haven't really come to pass, and they've managed to get a lot of the concessions they wanted anyway.
And the Premier League sort of just welcomed them back, you know, slap on the wrist.
Yeah. But it seems like that's what Gianni has done at the end of this tournament, is push it just a bit too far all at once, and it might blow up in his face. Yeah.
We started to talk about United players in the World Cup there.
Yeah, we did.
Very sidetracked. Any others stand out? Well, did any of them stand out, really?
Mazraoui had a good tournament.
Yeah.
He was talked about in quite glowing terms.
Lamans
man, I feel so bad for him. I didn't watch it. I've not brought myself to watch it.
Yeah, I was watching live. Obviously, as much as I love Lamans, for any country, it's not good to have to bring Courtois off.
No.
But I was really rooting for him, for them. It's because they were playing Spain, you know, it's a tough game.
Yeah.
And I wanted it looked like it was going to go to penalties at that point, so I was excited for Lamans to have the chance to be the hero for his country. And it was a poor mistake from him, you know.
It was.
Getting away from that. But maybe that'll help United, you know. He'll have a point to prove. He'll be,
you would think,
reawakened.
Yeah. Hopefully we can see some support from United fans and getting behind him, and, you know, United fans love him.
Yeah.
I think he's been a welcome addition to the squad. I think we were in such a dire position goalkeeper-wise, and then he's come in and he's been at the perfect level. He's not had one of those howlers for United.
Yeah.
He's had
a couple of...
a few goals that, and you would expect a goalkeeper with his numbers to do better with, but every keeper has those. So he's not been impervious.
Yeah.
But he's not had a complete clanger.
No. So maybe it's good to get that out of the way
in the World Cup.
Yeah.
But we shall see how he does when he comes back.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Lindelof doesn't play for us anymore. No. Gallo didn't really play. Played maybe a game.
Played a bit. Came on at times. Tielemans.
Yeah, he was captained.
Yeah, Cunha scored a couple.
Not a great tournament for Brazil, though.
No, really poor. And there's this whole thing about so many club managers stepping into the international game for this World Cup.
Yeah.
With Pochettino and Tuchel and Ancelotti, and them all not getting very far, and then two of the traditional international managers who've come through the system were in the final.
Yeah.
So, and England were no better than when they had Southgate. So,
yeah, you would hope. I don't think it is going to completely go back the other way, but the thing that the Argentinian and Spanish FAs do very, very well is top to bottom coach education.
Yeah,
and they have these coaches. They have these schools where coaches learn and are taught the Argentinian way.
Yeah.
And it means that, you know, their league football is not as perhaps varied and dynamic as English football is, because, you know, we have managers from all over the world, but it means that, you know, you can manage the under-21s, and that education is then instilled into the players at every level, which allows them to build these, you know, sort of... We had it in a few, two different styles, where the Argentina, where it's the same squad has played together for a long time, and they've really grown and, you know, crystallized into this great team.
Yeah.
Admittedly, with some rough edges, that came out in the final. And, they really messed up in the final. I think they would have been better going out on their sword.
They committed a bit too far to the defensive. And
but Spain, this sort of consistency of education throughout the whole level, you can see in that team. You got players coming in who are 19 years old who haven't got international tournament experience, who look completely at ease in that team because they just know what they're doing and they've got their level of technical education that English football just doesn't have and is so far away from. And maybe you can think we can bridge that gap with an elite tournament coach who can, really drill into them quickly. But we didn't see that. And, when England go out, there's a debate about whether Tuchel should fight the team's urges or try and play to the team's urges and help them play in the best way possible.
There was also a debate about what came first, whether the players started to recede and the manager committed to that, or whether the manager told them to do that.
Yeah, we don't know the details of it, but it's. I don't see England. I mean, England could very easily have won this tournament with a couple of things going the other way. I don't think all the talk of England are miles away from the level of Spain is true, and I think if it were a league season, we would be miles away from Spain. Yeah. But in a tournament, we can win a game against anyone at any time.
And you can always, it's very easy to overanalyze, but the thing I always think is only one team can win every 2 years. There's not enough, there's not very much for teams to win. So not winning something is, quite a harsh standard to hold a team to. Loads of teams don't win anything.
I always think that with Roberto Martinez, who always says he wasted Belgium's golden generation, or they wasted it by letting him be coached by them. Yeah. But at no point were they favourites to win a World Cup. No. At no point did they have the best team in a World Cup. They had lots of good players, and they had a couple of disappointing tournaments.
And they had one pretty good tournament in 2018. They got to the semi-final and lost to France.
Yeah, they could have won a World Cup, but that France team was
they weren't
was
expected to win
a
World Cup.
That France team was better than them.
Yeah. That Spain team was better than England.
Yeah.
That Argentina team wasn't better than England, which is the frustrating thing.
Disappointing thing. But they had the greatest player of all time, who was having a good tournament.
Wandered about the pitch for 80 minutes and then did two very good things,
Is that the World Cup covered, I think?
Yeah, I think so, comprehensively. In my head, I moved on from the World Cup quite a few weeks ago. So it's strange to go back into it because I've fully been getting into Premier League mode.
Yes,
last week or so.
Well, in that spirit, should we talk about United?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Not a great summer. Pretty.
Yeah.
There was a chance, I think, that we could have a really great summer.
Do you mean transfer-wise?
I mean everything-wise.
Yeah.
I think there was a bit of initial excitement in the window.
Yeah.
A couple of good moves.
But it was weird with Edison that we got over the line very early on.
Yes.
And before he went to the World Cup, and then it just sort of fell apart, and conflicting reports about why, yeah. But it seems that's not coming back. We've signed Santos instead, is probably the direct replacement.
Yeah.
So it was a strange way to start the window, but clearly midfielders were always the priority.
Yeah. And then we've sort of gone radio silent, and I think it's a difficult market. I think a couple of moves have sort of shredded United's plans a little bit. And what we haven't seen from this transfer management team is particularly ingenious thinking.
Yeah.
Like, with the moves that we've made, we've seen quite straightforward signings, release clause signings, not protracted negotiations.
Yeah.
And sort of pay the money, get the player.
Yeah, not massive, top level break the bank for this player signings, just quite smart, shrewd.
Yeah, but we've not seen any real deal making or any, left field signings, perhaps.
Yeah.
A couple of Premier League proven players.
I think Lamans, you could say, was.
I think Lamans is the closest to that. It wasn't. It was a decent fee for a player with one season. It wasn't extortionate, but we paid what they wanted for him. Šeško is a decent signing again,
but
a fairly obvious one.
Yeah, you don't need to do much digging. He's one of the young strikers that lots of top teams are looking at,
Yeah, and I think what this window has done is, I think, you've got the Elliot Anderson deal and you've got the Matheus Fernandes deal, which is
Antonelli as well.
Yeah, which has completely blown up the midfield market.
Yeah.
And so now we're going in looking for sensible transfers at a reasonable price and getting nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think, we looked at the list of players that we've been linked to in midfield is quite extensive.
Yeah.
And,
all
we were
three
thinking,
of those we were linked with for quite a while.
Yeah, I think we were thinking Matheus Fernandes, 40 million, Alex Scott, 40 million.
Yeah, Elliot
Baleba,
Anderson,
50,
maybe 80.
50 million. Elliot Anderson, 80 million. We would have gone to effectively double or 1.5x of those fees. I think if you're then sitting on your hands thinking, we'll wait till we find a decent player for a reasonable price, you could end up looking like you're not doing anything for 6 weeks, which is what's happened.
Yeah, and we seem to be really sticking to this policy of the last few years of don't just go and get someone.
Yeah.
Wait for the right player.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see where we get to in the dying days of the window.
Yeah, I've got
I think
2 weeks left.
They might well conclude that we cannot go into the season without another midfielder.
Yeah, especially now Mount's injured again.
Yeah. I think
because lots of people, probably more hope than expectation, were thinking if Mount can stay fit, he can be that other option in midfield, but he can't stay fit. We know that.
Yeah, I think there's every chance that they do bring in another midfielder and probably a left back. I don't think they'll necessarily be the star names that we have been linked with. I think
it won't be Lewis Hall, I don't think.
A reasonably, and if you then go abroad, they're sort of reasonably priced because of the prevalence of release clauses and things abroad, and for young players, there's often agreements in place for players to leave to the Premier League.
Yeah.
You can still get these reasonably priced players. They're not necessarily the big flashy names that the fans are dying out for.
Yeah, and that you see playing in the Premier League every week.
No. But I think just the way the market's gone has left a few teams stunned a little bit.
Yeah, and we don't want to be scrabbling around on the last day. I'm glad we've got 2 midfielders over the line before the market broke, and Tielemans was a release clause. So
yeah, and Santos was a player with a price tag that we paid.
Yeah, because all Chelsea players have a price tag,
Yeah, absolutely. I think we will see movement. I would.
Yeah, I think
really
there'll be
if we didn't
at least, and probably at most, one more first team signing. I think it seems to be if Xerxes leaves, we'll probably sign a striker.
Yeah,
but I don't know if Xerxes will leave.
Yeah, there's always talk out of Italy that they might go back there.
Yeah,
and I think it suits him. He was much better when he played in Italy.
Yeah,
just the pace of the league suited him a lot better.
Yeah, so maybe there, but that's 1 in, 1 out. We need a left back and a midfielder without anyone else leaving.
Yeah,
because Casemiro's gone, so you could argue we've replaced him with Santos. Ugarte's injured for the whole season, so we've replaced him with Tielemans. So we've not got any more midfielders.
No, and we've got a much more. We were 1 injury away from disaster last season. We managed to keep Casemiro and Kobbie fit for the whole second half of the season.
Yeah,
that might not happen with these midfielders that we have.
Yeah,
so we'll see. I think,
and Luke Shaw played all 38 league games last season.
Yeah,
I think that's the first time he's done that for United. He probably won't be able to do that again this season. He might be able to, but I don't think he'll be able to play 50 games this season. Yeah, which is more like what we'll have. So.
And then you're looking at Dalot and Mazraoui deputising.
Yeah, Dorgu, who just looks.
I mean, Carrick doesn't think he's a left back.
And when I've seen him play left back, I didn't think he was a left back. I didn't think he was a footballer.
Yeah, I think what my main worry is I think Carrick will want to evolve the team tactically.
Yeah,
that's what any manager would do. He came in last season with a maximise points agenda, which was get as many points on the board as you can in whatever way you think.
And you can't say he didn't do that.
No, and he did very well, succeeded, got his Champions League, was pretty nailed on to get the job. His job now is to evolve that and not throw it all out immediately and, do what other managers have done in the past and, dogmatically pursue a tactic that doesn't work, but evolve it gradually.
Yeah.
And I think what he wants to do that is midfielders who can progress the ball and pass the ball. And Casemiro's passing numbers last season were pretty dire.
Yeah.
Kobbie Mainoo's not a passer. He can progress the ball through dribbles, but he's not a volume passer or a good progression passer.
Yeah.
So we've got midfielders in who can do that. But I think without pace in the back, with Luke Shaw playing left back, without Maguire and Martinez, who might be our starting centre backs again.
Yeah.
Which we thought we probably should have moved past by
Yeah,
now.
lots of people would say the centre back should be our next priority, but we're certainly not going to sign a left back, a midfielder, and a centre back.
No, but I think if you're doing that and you want to progress to hold the ball a lot higher up the pitch, you can then massively get caught out. And so I think Carrick might start with that, or try and implement something like that, and without reinforcements, may end up regressing to the system of last season with controlled against the ball, counter-attacking. But Casemiro's gone, and Casemiro was good in that system.
Yeah,
and could play close to Kobbie Mainoo and could make tackles and would score goals from set pieces. And Tielemans isn't that midfielder, and so I think there could be a bit of a clash where the manager wants to play a more progressive style and has some players to do it, can't, so plays a more aggressive style and has some players to do that, but not all of them, and neither style particularly works, and we get caught between two stools.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm, writing the season off, but I think that we could easily end up in that scenario, and hopefully the tactical nous of the coaches can pull us through that and can either we get the players in or we can come up with some sort of system that can again maximise our players.
Yeah.
But it would be helped by, it could be made a lot easier with the right reinforcements.
Yeah, and Carrick's clearly, he's done a couple of interviews where he said we do want more signings.
Yeah.
Whether that's sending a message to the board or he knows very full well that the board are doing the right things and he's confident that they will get another signing, but just making it clear that he's not, this isn't it. He's not happy. He's not satisfied with the business we've done so far.
Yes.
Is he the type, certainly doesn't project this publicly, is he the type to go and bang down the chairman's door and insist on more signings?
You wouldn't
hope
assume that of him.
No, you would hope that whoever the United manager is capable of that of having that relationship with the owners. It needs to go both ways, where if either one of them isn't doing their job, they're comfortable enough with each other they can.
Yeah, and he seems. I think one of the reasons he got the job was because he had a good working relationship with those above him, which the previous manager didn't. But the previous manager wanted certain players bringing in and didn't get them, and that can sour a relationship with the ownership very quickly.
Was it that Amorim kicked up a fuss when he didn't get what he wanted, and Carrick won't do that? Is that why they have a better relationship? We don't know.
There's every chance. I think this window will be. People are already gunning for the ownership. People don't like them. People think they're clueless. And I think there's, we can talk about...
Plenty of evidence for that.
And I think this window could really harm that.
Because one thing that people have praised from these owners is the signings.
Yeah.
And not being stupid with signings and just generally the media circus around the club, just behaving, if not amazingly, just competently,
But I think we might be I think with the stresses on this window, I think the sort of quiet competence, going about your business quietly, might not pan out.
Yeah,
and we
might be a bit too quiet.
Yeah, we might end up with, we didn't waste any money. Great, but we missed out. We've got the second highest, of the teams that have got a net spend, because some teams have, below zero. Where I think it's Leeds and then us. So, it's not been a vintage window.
No.
I think the business we have done is fine, but we'd like to see more, and I think we need to see more if we're going to not regress or certainly if we're going to get closer to Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think we might get closer to other teams just by virtue of them getting worse, but
yeah,
I think if we're going to get closer to Arsenal, who have had a reasonably quiet window, they brought in a couple of starters, one starter, one rotation in Solace. We shall see.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about Rashford briefly?
Oh,
it's one of the big talking points with the squad. As it stands, do you think are you confident that he is staying for the season and will be a part of the squad?
I don't know. I'm on the. I don't want to sit on the fence.
But you're on the
fence. I'm going to say 50-50.
Yeah, they will or he won't,
Yeah. I think someone will come in with a bid. I think might be Barcelona. They've sold what's his name? Ferran Torres.
Yeah. But they have signed Gordon.
They have. I think they want Julian Alvarez. But I think they might.
They've wanted him for the whole window, basically.
Yeah, they might not get that, and they might get towards the end of the window, and they need a deal they can do quickly and simply, and it would be a very simple deal.
Yeah,
and he can play in a variety of positions. He can play across the front line. We know he gets on well with the manager and the team.
He had a good season for them last season. Quite a good season.
Yeah, the other talk would maybe be Turkey, but
yeah.
I think Rashford would rather stay than go to Turkey.
I think, and I don't know the guy, but I think it will be Barcelona number one for him.
Yeah.
I think that's been the case for the last 2 years. And then United.
Yeah.
And I don't think he would have any interest in going to another Premier League team or going to a team that wasn't Barcelona.
No. Maybe another big European giant could turn his head, but there's no
Real
noise
Madrid or Bayern Munich came in for him, but I don't think
there's
they will.
no noise that will happen. So I think that there is every chance he does leave, but I think the club have rightly laid the groundwork for him to come back.
Yeah, and made it possible.
Yeah.
Again. So if no one comes in for him, there is an avenue for him to get back into the squad.
Yeah, what we don't want is a situation like we had with Amorim where it was completely clear that they would never be welcomed back in the squad.
Yeah.
We would take any fee for them. They would never play for the club again, and you end up with cut price deals for players that should have a good market value.
Yeah.
Because your position is abundantly clear. I think you have to make noises that
they're happy for him to
stay. And then, I think the very unlikely thing is that he stays beyond this season because he's only got a year left on his deal.
Right.
So I think if he does stay, it'll be for this year, and then there's maybe a chance that he plays to a level where we want to keep him beyond that.
Want to give him a new contract.
You'd have to imagine it'd be a new contract on lower wages.
Yeah.
Because no one's on his wages at the club at the moment. And they've made big noises about the wage structure and wanting to
fix it.
Yeah, to fix it. And one of the last remaining huge contracts is his.
Yeah, but if he leaves on a free, he might be happy to cut his wages then because he'll get a massive signing on fee. Signing for free.
United.
Yeah.
So I think there's every chance he stays for this season.
What we don't want is to make it clear that we're happy to keep him and that Carrick's happy to use him and that he's happy to stay, and then he doesn't work hard, doesn't apply himself. Carrick stops playing him, and then he just sits in the reserves for a year on $300,000 a week.
Yeah, would be unfortunate.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to avoid.
Any other manager, I would have serious doubts about them reintegrating Rashford. I just trust Carrick to do it. I think he's the right temperament. I think he knows the player. He's coached him for years. He knows the club and he knows what it's like to play for the club. I think he is best placed to do that.
Yeah, if anyone can do that and get Rashford back playing well for United. Yeah.
So I think he can have a good season. I think he can probably have a similar role to what he had at Barcelona last year.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be a £300,000 a week player this season.
He's not going to score 30 goals.
No, I think he might be sort of not a bit part player, but can play Champions League group games, can help the team out when we need him.
Yeah.
And
like I say, similar role. He wasn't a guaranteed starter for Barcelona.
No.
He started a lot of games, but he probably wasn't in their best 11. But when you're fighting on all fronts, you need a big squad. You need good, capable players outside of the starting 11.
Yeah, I absolutely think we're better off with him than without him.
Yeah.
I think that's clear.
Yeah.
And I love him.
Yeah, the romantic side of us obviously wants him to stay and be amazing and sign a new deal and win the Premier League.
Yeah, Rooney was talking about him breaking Rooney's scoring record.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that would be great. Because he could do. I don't think he's not going to do another 5 years, but he could do if everything works out, and we have a great season. There's every chance, but it seems unlikely at this stage.
You've mentioned very briefly one of the other topics on my list, which is stick to United with Wayne Rooney and Mark Goldbridge.
Awful stuff.
Someone tweeted that what this is Manchester United's all-time record goal scorer doing a podcast with a man who pretends to support United.
Yeah, and he's very good at pretending to support
United. He is very good at pretending to support United. He's convinced a lot of people that
yes.
he's a real guy called Mark Goldbridge who supports United, but he's not.
No, he's a
comedian.
He's a comedy character, a la Alan Partridge.
Yeah, he is.
It's
like Wayne Rooney doing a podcast with Alan Partridge. It's ridiculous.
But everyone acts like it's not Steve Coogan.
Yeah.
It's very odd. I think.
Is there any part of you, and I feel this is daft, but it's still there, that I'm disappointed in Wayne Rooney for doing a podcast with Mark Goldbridge?
Yeah.
I'm really liking Wayne Rooney as a pundit. I think he's great. Obviously, I will always love Wayne Rooney. Being the age that I am and a massive United fan, how could I not love Wayne Rooney?
Yeah.
And I think he's one of the few pundits who represents the club well and is clearly passionate about the club in a positive way. And Mark Goldbridge is the antithesis of that, who is an internet fan who
breeds negativity, divides the fan base. Yeah, I think. Well, I don't want to be I've already defended Jeremy Clarkson today by accident. I don't want to be defending Mark Goldbridge. I do think he's rode back from some of his more toxic positions.
Yeah.
Slightly, probably to ease this for this production.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's part of the deal.
Yeah. The massive sort of, and it might start up again. He's not been at the club for a year and a half, but the massive anti-Rashford agenda has quietened, and you would hope that it doesn't come back going to this new season.
Yeah.
And maybe speaking to sensible United fan Wayne Rooney every week might mellow him out. I don't know. It might fix Mark Goldbridge. On the other hand, there is a huge portion of United fans, us included, who think no one should ever talk to Mark Goldbridge.
No one should give him any credibility as a football fan, a commentator.
The damage he's done to this club is real. It's not just, and people may say it's hyperbole, but I think the effect that online fandom has had to the fan culture is real and has made being a football fan worse. And he has played every part in that.
And he's so much, even AFTV, they get a lot of stick, but they're all genuine Arsenal fans who want Arsenal to do well. I'm not even convinced, even as Mark Goldbridge, that he wants United to do well.
No, I don't think so. I think, Arsenal fan TV know that when Arsenal lose, or it certainly was the case for a while, that when Arsenal lost and when Arsenal went out of tournaments, the AFTV did better.
Yeah.
I don't think for a second any of them was thinking, well, it's a good job we've got battered in the Champions League because we'll all get a nice payday for it. I think maybe they will have seen
some
that
of them did at the time, but now certainly they've cleaned that up. And you could tell from when Arsenal won the league that they're all clearly genuine.
I think there is a part that when United get battered, Mark Goldbridge thinks, cha-ching.
Well, Brent de Cesar thinks.
Yes,
Mark's going to be angry about this.
And I think having that be legitimised by Wayne Rooney is disappointing. I think that's entirely disappointing.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't want to give this too much airtime.
No. Well, I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy slagging off Mark Goldbridge.
You know what? I think we should just all watch The Good, The Bad and The Football instead. That's
Imagine if that was, instead of hosted by Paddy McGuinness, it was hosted by Keith Lemon or Alan Partridge.
or Paddy from Max and Paddy.
Yeah. Or Basil Brush. It would be ridiculous.
I would watch that, though.
Yeah.
Who does he support? Leicester.
Probably, yeah. Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt, the latest clip of them is saying that they would choose City over United if they were young footballers now. I don't care. Someone told me about that, as in, even your club legends are saying this. Well, it's two morons who are club legends who don't get on with the club.
Yeah.
So leave them to it.
Yeah, it's disappointing. And, are there any left? I mean, we like Carrick, obviously, as their former player. Ollie keeps his head down. We like him. Roy's basically a comedy character now.
Yeah, I like him when he's not talking about United. Whereas Paul Scholes, I obviously massive fan of him as a player.
Yeah,
but I don't find him entertaining.
No.
Whereas Roy Keane, I think, is a really funny guy and interesting guy, but I don't always agree with him on United. He goes too far slagging us off sometimes.
Yeah, we've obviously had our issues with Gary Neville, but he's come round a bit in the last year. I think.
Still like Gary Neville despite what a lot of people say about him.
Yeah, he seems like a United fan again.
Yeah.
Which there was a good period where he didn't.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's a good.
Yeah, well, Ronaldo's only got 1 year left. I wonder what he'll be like as a pundit.
Yeah, he's going to retire.
Can't imagine him. Obviously, he'll have all kinds of business interests and stuff. Will he just completely leave football?
I think he's going to be David Beckham. I think he's going to be
on every single advert.
Here's my gin brand. Here's my whiskey brand. Here's my fashion brand.
Is he?
He
probably
might
own
a club. He might buy a Portuguese club and turn up there and
or a Saudi club.
Yeah,
no, I think they're sorted ownership wise. But I can't imagine him coaching. It would just be bizarre. Ronaldo on the touchline, a suit, or tracksuit, and doing post-match match of the day interviews and stuff.
Yeah. Is it only Cruyff who's and Zidane who are the absolute?
But even Zidane,
elite player, elite manager.
Yeah.
Obviously, Zidane's not Cruyff, but
as a manager, yeah.
But who has done both of those jobs
at the top level,
at the very top level? I mean, Guardiola was a very good player.
Yeah.
He wasn't top 5 in the world.
No.
Which, of all sort of, Maradona's manager career wasn't illustrious.
Short-lived.
But I don't know what Pelé did after the game. I don't think he coached.
I think a lot of players of that generation managed for a bit and were like chairman for a bit of a club. I think Bobby Charlton managed Preston for a little bit, but knocked it on the head quite early. So Pelé might have managed Santos for like a season or something in the 80s.
I can't see, but mainly because it's just not lucrative enough.
Yeah,
being a manager,
you
don't make enough money.
The person who I can relate to the most, who I think would be my attitude, if I was a retired professional footballer, is Jamie Carragher.
Yeah,
who absolutely, he clearly loves football. He watches
and he's very intelligent.
Yeah, and he loves talking about football. He has absolutely no interest in going into management because it's really hard.
Yeah,
it's really long hours, traveling all over the place. Just miserable most of the time. The stress you're under.
Yeah.
When you go home, you're still thinking about your latest result the whole time. Why would you do it?
Yeah, and it's sort of obviously there's a lot more physical exertion when you're a player.
Yeah.
But the mental exertion is much less, I think. And to replace that with, you've retired, you've put your body through the ringer for 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
You've retired, and the first thing you want to do is go back to it.
Yeah, go back to the training ground 5 days a week. And
ridiculous. I can see why.
And plenty have dipped their toe in and thought, it's not worth it. Like Rooney, Gary Neville, Alan Shearer.
Yeah.
No, I'll stick to the studio, thanks.
Yeah. The one outlier in that seems to be Roy Keane, who seems to want to get back into managing.
He seems to, a part of him has missed it for the last 15 years since he stopped managing.
Yeah. But not to the level where he will manage down the leagues. I think if he wanted a League 2 job, I think he could get one.
Yeah, probably.
But he thinks, why should I manage a League 2 club?
Yeah, and I think he's probably got a lot of boxes that need to be ticked
for a job.
Not just like the level of
the
standards, but the in terms of the way the club is run and the concessions they would give him. And he's clearly not desperate to do it, but he's just like, I think I would still do it, but he won't. I think Steven Gerrard might be the latest to
give up
on management. Yeah, he signed a big deal with BT for this season, but I don't find him remotely compelling as a pundit.
No, he's not. I think he's played it. He was too good a player. I think this is the other thing that, or he played in. I know he didn't play in any all-time teams, but I think might be why he doesn't work as a coach as well, because he isn't able to translate how he would do it.
Yeah,
because he was the captain, he ran that team, and I don't think he can coach the players that aren't capable to his level.
Yeah.
And Zidane managed a team that was his level. And so he couldn't have these ideas, and he's giving these ideas to Kroos and Modric and Casemiro
and
Ronaldo and Benzema, and they're like, yeah, okay, that all makes sense. Whereas if you're Steven Gerrard or Wayne Rooney, what they might have needed is the Real Madrid job as their only job, and then maybe their highfalutin ideas of how the game works would work, but none of them have successfully, to use a phrase that some people might say was offensive, dumbed it down for Championship players or MLS players, or none of them have successfully done that translation.
Yeah, where Frank Lampard has sort of managed to come out the other side.
Yeah,
some on the overlap, the Coventry fan was making the point that Coventry have a better manager than United, which I don't want to get into that argument, but he said he succeeded everywhere he's been, Frank Lampard.
Right.
Whereas I would say he had done nothing in his career until he got the Coventry job that made me think he was a good manager.
Yeah. And I think he has done a good job.
He has done a very good job at Coventry, he clearly is a good manager at the right club, but I don't think he did anything special at any previous job.
No, and I don't think it's particularly noteworthy that rival fans think that their manager's better than the United manager.
No.
Because you wouldn't have, now United have got Carrick, Coventry have got a better manager than them, but no one was thinking last season, well, Amarim's definitely better than, Kieran McKenna, or Amarim's definitely better. If you think the United manager is crap, which all rival fans think all the time, or certainly have for the last 15 years, then obviously you think that a successful Championship manager is better than him. You probably think that the unsuccessful Championship manager is better than him. You hate the United.
And also, no, United wouldn't have appointed Carrick if he didn't play for us.
No.
Based on that CV, he wouldn't have been a Chelsea interim manager based on his job at Middlesbrough.
No.
Or Liverpool interim or anything like that. It was because he played for us that he got the job. He did really well. And
it's because he played for Chelsea that Lampard got the Chelsea job.
Yeah. You can't apply that to... that element doesn't exist if you're just putting Carrick at a different club,
No.
And it was summed up quite well. The Coventry fan wouldn't swap Lampard for Carrick in a million years. And no United fan would swap Carrick for Lampard. So, we can both go about our business.
We've had a bit of trouble off the pitch at Old Trafford this summer. With the club seemingly doing everything they can to piss off as many fans as possible.
Yeah. Reduce the number of season ticket holders, it seems. Which is a growing trend. Clubs won't admit to it, but a lot of fans would accuse them of not wanting season ticket holders because they don't spend as much money as tourists.
Yeah.
And United have blocked a lot of people's season tickets, removed a lot of people's season tickets ahead of this season.
Yeah, and on very shaky grounds. I think, we're not pro-touting, and there are legitimate channels by which to transfer tickets, and people don't always use them, and we've seen the club has put in lots of measures to prevent that. Yeah. And this is, in their eyes, a further attempt to do that.
Yeah.
Seems to be they've been quite heavy-handed with it, and a lot of people have been caught up in the crossfire.
Yeah, people logging into multiple accounts on one phone or logging into one account on multiple phones. There are perfectly legitimate reasons for doing that, but it's not the way United have outlined for you to transfer your tickets to other people. And
and there's, I think the world that we want is a world where even if you have these policies, you can ring up the club and you can explain, and a person can say, okay, well, clearly you've been banned in error. We can reinstate that. We can
people whose families have had season tickets for decades, just getting it wiped because they, gave the ticket to their dad and just logged in on his phone.
Yeah,
obviously that's not. If you, like you say, if you could phone up and speak to a person at the club who's worked at the club for decades and knows all these people and has a good relationship with the fans,
it's, we've seen it for a long time, and we see it again. The club being run as a business and not as a community asset, and it should be the case that it is a fan first approach, and the fans are respected and they are treated with dignity and they are listened to, and we've not seen enough of that from the club. And there are some easy wins I think they could make that they are refusing to do. I do think that the Glazers have played an absolute blinder in they've now got, they had a fall guy in Ed Woodward for years who everyone hated more than they hated the Glazers.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that it was their policy and everything was signed off by them.
Yeah, and they appointed him.
Then they sack him. Then then a whole new team of people to blame comes in. Yeah. And we don't know the extent to, we saw that I think Ineos played a big role in appointing the CEO, but the nature of the agreement, as we were led to understand, was that it was the footballing side that would be run by Ineos, and I say Ineos have got nothing to do with it. That would be run by Jim Ratcliffe and his interests, and then the business side would remain with the Glazers, and this is all business stuff. But if you appoint the CEO, it all comes down to that.
And there's not really, you could make a case for any part of a football club being the football side, really. Yeah. Season tickets for going to the match, that's football, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think the club could put on a bit of a charm offensive.
Yeah.
Not costing a huge amount of money. I also think that they could have done the new stadium stuff a lot better. I think they could reassure a lot of people with better communication. We've seen them talk of, a news story came out about they're considering seat licensing. So you buy a license and then you can to reserve a seat with which to buy a season ticket. That, I don't think that's likely, and I don't think that will have come from the club. I think
that's
that will have come.
That's common in American sports, isn't it?
But I think that's pure speculation, and I think the club can come out and quash some of these rumours. I also think if you're going from 75,000 with 55,000 season tickets, and you're going to 100,000 seat stadium, which is the plan, why not say we guarantee we will increase the number of season ticket holders?
Yeah,
if you're going to 100,000, why not have 65,000, 70,000 season tickets?
You
still got more corporate.
Yeah,
than
you can massively increase both.
Yeah,
if you're increasing the stadium capacity by 25,000.
And this stadium, there's talk of, obviously we don't want to be a loss-making club, and we don't, we want to run to our own means, and that's, whether football is going in the direction where it's impossible to do that, we don't know. But Liverpool are not massively owner-funded, and they are successful and profitable. But I think we're not going to get to the point where we're profitable and generating lots of extra revenue pre-stadium. So pissing everyone off now to try and get a bit more cash in when you're about to borrow £2 billion to build this stadium, I feel like it's just completely pointless and you
need to be getting people on side.
Yeah, I do it quite a lot, but comparing politics to football, it feels like the Labour government, this Labour government of we've identified that the finances are in a bad state. So we're going to scrabble around and piss as many people off for tiny gains.
Yeah,
that will then stop us from doing the big stuff that will actually fix stuff, because we won't have any support left.
Yeah,
if you want to build a new stadium that can generate a whole new load of revenue, you need fans to fill it. You can't piss off all the fans before you get there.
Yeah,
you can't. If you want a stadium worth hosting the biggest nights in Champions League football, spend a bit of money on building a team that's worth playing there.
Yeah.
Real Madrid don't when they rebuilt the Bernabeu, they didn't stop paying for top players.
No.
Because now they're in the new Bernabeu, they get these amazing Champions League nights. They've got a team worth playing there.
Yeah. Whereas Spurs did stop playing for top players when they built the new stadium.
And they nearly got relegated.
Yeah, and they don't play big Champions League nights there, but they have a lot of gigs there.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll see lots of that at Old Trafford or New Trafford. But,
it's got to be football first.
The policies have to be tweaked, I think. There's scope for, and maybe it'll take a change of CEO, I don't know. He is very liked by Omar Brada.
Bosses,
was an up-and-comer. He was tipped to be the new CEO of City, and if he'd gone to City, and I'm sure he would have had a lot less. The media love to pile on United, and City get an easier ride with the media.
Yeah,
but I think, and maybe we'll get something now. We've had this outcry. We've had a resignation from the fan advisory board.
Yeah,
the person who sits on that board has resigned, and hopefully the club starts to make some concessions and starts to
listen to the fans.
Stop annoying people. Stop making things harder for people.
Yeah. You'd think you'd want to get people on side, really, and want to make the fans like you, because it makes your job a lot easier if you've got the fans on side.
And what this could have been the last 2 years, it could have been a lot of fan pressure. If you come in and you pander to the fans a little bit, a lot of fan pressure for the Glazers to sell up.
Yeah.
But no one's thinking, I really hope Ineos buys the rest of the Glazer shares, even though getting rid of the Glazers is the ultimate aim. We all say that that's where we want the club to go, and we can't abide anything that allows the Glazers to stay.
Yeah.
Surely, if you'd have come in and you'd said, we're going to scrap these Glazer policies, we're going to appoint our own people, we're going to have this much better relationship with the fans, you would get all of that fan pressure. That's, and there was fan pressure at Arsenal for years for Gazidis to go and the Cronkies and
Usmanov, Gazidis, a lot of them.
Yeah, and they didn't move the needle very much, but they had a clear plan on how to get rid of them, which was this other bloke who wants to buy all the shares and makes all the right noises. We like him. We'll just get him to buy all the shares. That would have been my strategy, and maybe that their strategy isn't to own all the club. Maybe they don't want to buy the rest of the Glazer shares, but.
And Stan Kroenke sort of handing the reins over to his son, who had a lot less to do, and clearly this was like, this is your project, you make Arsenal good. Yeah. Clearly that helped.
It has worked out. Yeah. And they've got but then they've massively repaired that relationship with the fans. Yeah. And that's something we need to see.
Maybe it's Jim Ratcliffe not got an idiot son who can.
I don't know. Probably. We should look into that.
Yes.
But I just thought we should touch on that.
No, it's important to
and
express our views on that.
Still go every week.
We've not had ours taken away.
No.
Unlucky. So Premier League season gets underway on Friday.
Arsenal Coventry.
Yeah.
Big game.
Yeah. I remember watching Arsenal. Well, it was Brentford Arsenal first game of the season Friday night a few seasons ago. And Brentford won, so that was good. Really. That was Brentford's first season in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see that again, but it is at Arsenal, so it's much less likely.
Unlikely.
I feel like the scheduling wants Brentford to win that if it's at Brentford.
Yeah.
But if you put Arsenal at home against Coventry, you want the
Arsenal
champions to flex their muscles, win 4-0, put a marker down.
We've got Hull.
We have
Saturday lunch.
Yeah.
I know nothing about Hull. I don't know who their manager is. I don't know who any of their players are.
Gelhardt. He's not there yet, but he will be. They had him on loan last season and they're trying to get him again.
From Leeds?
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
But we should win.
We should win. We should talk about the season as a whole.
Okay.
Before we talk about Hull.
Yeah, you did actually say that before.
Are we doing predictions for the season?
Yeah, we can do.
Big ones. Might as well.
Yeah, maybe not as structured.
We won't do 1 to 20.
No.
But we can.
How do you feel?
Go on.
I was going to, how are you feeling for the new season as a United fan?
United, I don't feel. Well, there's a head and a heart, isn't there?
Yeah.
The head is saying we're not ready to play that many more games, and I'm slightly worried that we'll be worse than we were last season, and too many other teams will be better than they were last season.
Okay.
But at this point of the season, the heart is saying, the sky's the limit, and we were really good the second half of last season.
Yeah.
And Carrick's had a full pre-season to get his ideas across. So where can we go now? It's exciting.
Yeah, and there have been seasons in the past. Obviously we're generally optimistic United fans, I think you could say.
Try to be, yeah.
There have been seasons in the past where I felt less optimistic going into it, and you're sort of looking for, hoping for things to make you feel more optimistic. Whereas this year, I don't think we're there. I think we're beyond that, to the point where some things have slightly dampened us going into the new season. I think like we've spoke about the window and things like that. But I think generally I'm still, after that season, I'm still in a good place for this season, and think we've got a good team and we can win a lot of football games.
Yeah, I think we're not, and we shouldn't be even thinking about challenging for the title, really. I don't think we're ready to do that.
How do you define challenging for the title?
So, looking like we could win the title for most of the season.
Okay.
I think what our aim should be, at least at the start of the season, is getting in the Champions League again.
Yeah.
After getting in the Champions League with no Europe, relatively comfortably, but it was still,
yeah, a few games
for
to
grabs.
Go, yeah.
The aim should be to get in the Champions League while playing in the Champions League.
Yeah,
because that's a lot harder, And we brought a lot of stability the second half of last season, and we need to maintain that before, I think, for at least one season before we then go to the next level. We need to try and stay at this level first.
Yeah, I don't think there's, in a typical season, I don't think there's much between looking like you're going to get top 4 all season and challenging for the title. I think if you've got two teams challenging for the title, I mean, last season we looked like we were probably, certainly since from Amorim leaving, we looked like we were probably going to get top 4, maybe 3 or 4 weeks into Carrick's.
Yeah.
Right? We never looked like we were going to challenge for the title.
Yeah.
But if we'd been in that position the whole time, if you're 15 points off for most of the season whilst being comfortable in the top 4, I think that's, I wouldn't say that's challenging for the title, but I think that's an improvement on where we were last year, and like you say, stabilising and reinforcing our position.
Well, would you say Aston Villa challenged for the title last season?
I think they challenged for the title for the first half of the season.
Okay, well maybe we can do that.
We can hope for that.
But there's been seasons where City didn't challenge for the title the season before last.
No.
But they were always really going to get Champions League.
Yeah.
They had a bad spell in the middle of the season, but no one really believed City weren't going to get Champions League. And I think that's where we need to be. We might have periods where we look, we could go and we might be able to, is there a chance we could win the league here? But ultimately, that doesn't last very long. And there might be periods where we look like there's a race on here for Champions League. We need to be looking over our shoulder. But I think we should, all being well, we should be comfortable in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And whilst doing a lot better in the other 3 competitions.
Well, we can't do worse in the other competitions.
Not being in one and losing the other 2 straight away.
Yeah.
But if we maintain the position in the league and, get to the quarterfinal of the Champions League and win the FA Cup or win the League Cup, then that's a marked improvement on last season.
Absolutely, yeah.
Without getting any better in the league, without challenging for the title.
Yeah.
We've improved, and to win a trophy would then set us up for going to get the bigger trophies.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I would like at some point to believe that we might win the title.
I mean, that's now.
Yeah,
you want it to last
at some point months. After we've played some games.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to say the last 2 seasons, probably maybe the last 3 seasons, maybe the last 12 seasons.
I think last season and Ten Hag's first season, we came 3rd in both of them.
The season
there
after
were
that,
a couple of periods in those seasons. Last season, obviously, it was only the second half, where you're looking at the fixtures and thinking, if Arsenal and City drop points here, I think it was Arsenal and City both times.
Yeah.
if they drop points here, we have still got a chance if we can keep our form up. But ultimately, the last couple of weeks of the season, we weren't in the race.
I think and I'd like it to not be if absolutely everything goes our way and we become amazing or stay amazing or stay playing at a completely unsustainable level,
then we
might win the league.
Yeah. You want it to be, we're in with a chance.
Yeah.
And that might not last the whole season, but you want it to last some of the season.
But, like maybe leaving a game feeling like we're in the title race. Yeah. I've not felt that feeling for a while.
There've been a couple of moments of them over the last 13 years, but not many. I remember beating Watford away in Van Gaal's first season, and we went top of the league.
Yeah.
And that was the first half of the season. It was probably about October.
Yeah.
But you did think, well,
yeah, maybe being top of the league some point after September.
Yeah.
That's never. That's not.
I don't know
probably since then.
Happened. Yeah.
I'd like that. That would be nice. So we're not being crazily ambitious here. I don't think by saying that we'd like to not be much worse than last season.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of unknowns in this league.
Yeah.
The one known quantity is Arsenal,
and they're really
good, and they've probably got better.
Yeah.
Everything else is up for grabs. I think we don't really know how good Chelsea are.
Yeah.
I think some Chelsea fans will be thinking they can put something together this season.
Yeah.
Because of the competitions that they're in.
Yeah.
And the fact that Xabi Alonso's a top manager. I think City fans are probably quite nervous after Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Some are probably very nervous, yeah. Some are probably not reading into it because it's Community Shield.
No, but one of their best places just left as well.
I'm glad because part of me thought, because they were really bad in the Community Shield. Arsenal were very good, but City weren't good. That they might change their mind and keep Rodri after he didn't play in that game and they were bad. So I'm glad he's now officially left.
It's an interesting thing, City. They've got seemingly a hard and fast policy of never keeping a player who wants to leave.
Yeah.
They've sold very good players for pretty average fees. They're good.
They're good at getting good fees.
They're good at getting fees for all of their players, but they never. I mean, Julian Alvarez was a very good fee, but when they sold Sané, it wasn't. He'd come off the back of 2 incredible seasons, and they sold him for a decent a bit of profit on what they had, just because he wanted to leave.
Yeah,
and they've done that with Rodri, and they've replaced him with Anderson and probably Boadi.
Yeah, and maybe Enzo Fernandez.
Maybe Enzo Fernandez. None of whom are as good as Rodri or anywhere near as technical.
Any two of them are as good combined or as good as Rodri.
Yeah. So City are an unknown quantity in a way that they haven't been in the past because I think
they've been a known quantity for a long time.
Yeah, having Pep basically gets you to 75 points.
Yeah.
No matter what happens.
Top 3 in the league.
Liverpool, again, completely unknown. Iraola, good manager, never managed anywhere near this level.
Yeah, they had a bad season last season. Not had an amazing window.
No. They like, what's his name? The new centre-half.
Araujo.
No. They don't like Araujo. They like the French guy.
Jacquet.
Yes, Jeremy Jacquet. He's seemingly gone down well with the fans.
Mm.
But Salah's gone.
Yeah.
And we shall see what they are like.
Yeah. There's so many new managers that it's very hard to predict.
Tottenham could be should be much better.
But they could be much better and finish 9th.
Yeah. They've had an interesting window. They've lost.
Yeah, spent a lot of money.
They have on players probably not worth what they paid, but good to get in.
Yeah, and that's what it took to sign them. And that's
what we've seen the opposite of from United.
Yeah. They still need more signings, I think. They need a striker.
Yeah.
Which they might get, but they're another one that's hard to predict. And this is pretty rubbish predictions going through every team and saying it's hard to predict, but that's the way it is this season.
The average lifespan of a Premier League manager is now under a year.
Yeah.
If you look at the last, rolling average.
Yeah.
None of these teams stay the same for very long.
Yeah.
With Guardiola leaving, you've got Arteta, and that's basically it. Howe's gone. Howe was another long-standing manager.
Yeah.
That's
Emery's still there.
Yeah.
So they're, some might use that to say Villa are going to be one of the better sides.
Yeah, Villa have never... Well, they have kicked on. They've consolidated at a level, and they've stuck at that level, and they're at that level in the food chain, and that's, reflected in the market. Looks like they've got a couple of good signings in. Again, I think it's a particularly difficult season to do a 1-20 because because last season was so spread out. Chelsea finished 9th, 8th, 10th. Tottenham finished 17th.
Yeah.
All of these teams everyone's trying to get better. And going into last season, I think everyone, apart from maybe United, had a worse season than they did the year before.
Yeah.
I think everyone might have a better season than they did before, apart from a couple of teams. Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that this is one of the reasons people are frustrated with United is I think there is an opportunity to do something next season because of how topsy-turvy things are. But we haven't finished above City in 15 years.
Yeah, that's one for me. Since we won the league, we haven't finished above them, which we have to put that right.
This is a great
They've got a
opportunity
new manager. They've had Pep for most of that time, but not all of it. But they still won the league in one of the seasons in that time before they had Pep. So we have to put that right. Get that out of the way this season.
Yeah.
Get that monkey off our back. I don't expect the players to factor that in.
No.
And we should just finish it well in the table, and that should be better than City anyway.
Yeah.
But the 2 seasons where we finished second, City won the league. So we need to correct that. We can't have it going on too long.
No. And I think United could have really consolidated and strengthened this window. And they haven't done enough yet.
Yeah.
And maybe by staying as good as we are or getting slightly better, that will be enough.
Yeah.
Some people think we need to get a lot better and we haven't. So I think United's position is tricky. There's every chance that Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Spurs, Villa, Bournemouth are all better than they were last season, and United are about as good as they were last season. And then who knows where we finish.
Yeah.
However, there's also a chance that they're all in their first season and we've got a 6-month head start and we've got players who know the league and we're not waiting for anyone to bed in. Tielemans has played 250 Premier League games. We've got a good, solid core.
Yeah.
And maybe we can be the sort of, the ones to benefit from all this chaos as opposed to lose out.
Yeah, it's the thing that's so tricky to predict because there's so many teams, including United, who could really go either way. Do you think it's hard to look past Arsenal for title winners? Are you capable of looking past Arsenal, or are you going for that for your prediction?
I think I would put more than 50% chance on Arsenal winning the league. I think the other, let's say 45%, is quite evenly split between...
I thought you were going to say it's for United.
No, it's quite evenly split.
Yeah. But the thing is, if it's not Arsenal, it could be anyone, yeah.
If Arsenal turn out to be as good as... I think there's probably between 70 and 90 points. I think maybe 6 teams could finish.
Yeah.
And I don't really know at what point in those 70 to 90 points. I don't think Tottenham, just because of how rubbish they were last season. But I think United, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Villa. And then, it's anyone's guess outside of that. But I think any of those 6 could finish basically at any point in the top 6. I don't think Villa will win the league just because they're not one of the teams that win the league.
Yeah, but neither are we.
Yeah,
well, I don't think we will.
We still remember what it's like to win the league.
Yeah,
and I don't know if they do. I think it's going to be a really great season.
Yeah,
and I would
hope so.
Hope it will be a great season for United as well.
Yeah. Last season, it was very difficult to look past Liverpool as title winners because they won the league and then signed loads of really good players, but they didn't have a good squad anymore. They had a completely imbalanced squad, and the manager had to... I don't know, there was less carryover from the previous manager, and it was more about this manager who didn't do very well.
Yeah.
So it's now hard to look past Arsenal, but as we've seen, anything can happen.
Yeah. I think Liverpool might be, because I think the slots issue was, I think, one of the main issues they had last season was they were so slow and so sort of pedestrian.
Yeah.
And they got overrun in games. And Iraola's system is very high energy.
Yeah.
And it could be that he's drilled the players, got everyone fit, got a load more energy into the team.
Yeah.
Or it could be he tries to play a really high energy system with a really low energy team.
Yeah.
Gets found out and they're awful.
It's chaos.
I think they've probably got... Well, I mean, everyone's got a big delta. Everyone's got a big range.
Yeah.
I think United are probably the most predictable in that I think we'd probably get 5.
You sort of
we're
know
probably
how
plus or minus 5 points on last season.
You sort of know how good we'll be. It's just how well how good the teams around us are that determines where we finish.
I think Tottenham could finish basically anywhere in the league.
Yeah.
I think if they won the league or got relegated, I think either of those could happen. I think they're not equally likely.
No. It'll probably be somewhere in the middle.
There's very few teams who that is true of.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool, again, it could either work and they get much better or it could completely blow up.
Yeah.
Chelsea have got so many players that you just have no idea what they are at any point.
I've not obviously watched any Chelsea pre-season, but I don't know what kind of lineup they're going to play.
Did you see the 3 potential lineups that was all white players, all black players, and all brown players?
I've not seen that.
They could have a full lineup in each of them. That was very interesting.
Yeah, very good to see a very diverse squad.
Yeah. And again, the manager never managed in the league, has managed at a top level. There's just so many unknowns, and it's really exciting.
It is exciting, yeah.
We've got teams who haven't been in the league for a long time, in Hull and Coventry.
Yeah.
And Ipswich, who have been in the league recently.
Yes.
But are basically a new team now because they changed the players a lot.
Yeah, and changed the manager.
I'm excited to see Coventry back in the top flight. I've not
had
a
team I've watched in the Premier League. Was it 2001 they went down?
I think something like that. Yeah, that's always good. Good to see a new team not from London.
Yeah.
Which is always good.
Team who's not gone down and come back up, which we've got one of, but
yeah.
Hull seem to have got slightly promoted by accident before they were ready.
Yes.
Most people are tipping them to finish bottom. Last season was the first, after 2 seasons where the 3 promoted sides all went down. Last season, 2 of them stayed up.
Yeah, because 2 Premier League
stalwarts
maybe had completely blown themselves up.
I don't know who those Premier League teams are this season, which makes you think they could all go back down.
Yeah, but we didn't see it coming with Wolves or West Ham, really. I mean, West Ham were always on the edge.
Yeah.
But there are still teams who are on the edge.
Yeah, Fulham's one that a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, they've had a weird
because they've lost
summer.
Marco Silva, who in history might tell us that Marco Silva was doing a very good job there. Arbeloa was... It's weird because do you see him as someone who's just managed Real Madrid?
Yeah.
Or, well, he managed Real Madrid because he was the academy manager.
And then he got sacked,
did the caretaker job not very well. But he's got Real Madrid on his CV, so let's get him. But he could be... I think they're going to be better than what most people are saying. I think they're an easy team to predict doing badly, which last season was Brentford, and then they did very well. So that's
your hot take.
Hot take is that Fulham are actually going to do... They're not going to do very well. They're going to be fine.
Yeah. You would imagine Brentford, Brighton, Bournemouth, Fulham, Palace, Forest will all be fine.
Yeah, have they all got new managers apart from... no, Brighton and Brentford have still got the same managers, but Bournemouth, season. Palace, Fulham have all got new managers.
Yeah.
Newcastle have a new manager.
Yeah. Newcastle sort of sit in between those two tiers for me.
They could... Some people are tipping them to get relegated, which I don't think will happen, but I will be supporting that idea.
Yeah, I think it's great. I don't like them.
No. That would be very, very funny.
Who have we not spoken about? Sunderland.
Yeah.
They're
they
probably
could,
in that group.
Yeah.
I think they overperformed.
Yeah, massively.
They overperformed a lot of their metrics last season. There was talk of they might replace LeBrie in the summer. They haven't.
That would have been insane.
Well, sort of. They did that when they got LeBrie. Is they were like, well, we finished quite strongly
with Tony Mowbray.
With
got
Mowbray.
in the playoffs.
Yeah, but our numbers are looking that we might be overperforming. So let's not wait for us to find out that we're overperforming.
Yeah.
And so some people thought they might do that again.
Yeah.
And sort of try and skip that bit where you're like, oh, it's all come undone.
Yeah.
They haven't done that.
Which was Newcastle last season under Eddie Howe.
Yeah. And they may regret that, or it may be that LeBrie is able to evolve them again.
Yeah. They're obviously not, well, you never know, but they're probably not going to get into Europe again. They're probably not going to finish in the top half again. They might give it a real go in Europe, and their league form will suffer because of that. The league form will suffer just by being in Europe, but I don't think they'll be worse enough to get relegated.
No. You'd hope not. We like Sunderland.
Yeah. Although they did do the Poznan when we beat them.
Everyone makes mistakes.
City won the league.
They don't have to like us. I can still quite.
Yeah.
Everyone hates us.
Yeah, I don't expect them to like us. Everton. We've not mentioned Everton.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who's their manager? David Moyes.
Yeah.
Have they got any players?
Well, they've still got Beto and Barry up front. They've swapped McNeil with Brennan Johnson.
Yeah, they've still not signed a right back.
Yeah.
They'll probably finish
they've
in
probably
the
signed
bottom
some midfielders or something, but they've
Maybe.
not re-signed Jack Grealish.
Should I have a look? I'm going to look at the deal sheet. I'm going to see the ins and outs.
I actually meant to do that before I came. But
Everton have signed Hayden Hackney and Christian Norgard.
Oh, yeah, they have signed some midfielders.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Hayden Hackney, very highly rated.
I think on the first episode of the podcast,
you
said he's someone we should be looking at.
Yeah, I think it might be one of those players who we think we could have signed him for 20 million 2 years ago, and now he's worth 60, 70 million.
Yeah.
They've signed Merlin Roll, but he was there last season.
Yes.
Tyreek George
it's great
also
to have
there
a player
last
called Merlin.
Yeah. I wish we had a Merlin. Or like a King Arthur. Just the Lancelot. Oh, no, I couldn't think of Lancelot. I might cut that. Tyreek George, he was there last season. Tyler Tyler Onyango from Stockport. But I don't think he's going to be very good. Oh wait, no.
Is that your hot take?
He's left. He's gone to Sheffield Wednesday.
On loan?
No.
They signed him and sold him?
No, his loan ended from Stockport. He was already there.
He's come back to them.
Yeah, that's counted as a transfer in.
And now they've sold him to Wednesday permanently.
Well, I quite like
your
Wednesday.
hot take invalidated straight away.
Yeah, I need a new hot take.
So Everton mid-table probably.
Yeah, probably. They'll probably be fine.
The fans will probably get a bit annoyed with the style of football.
They might sack David Moyes.
I don't think they'll sack him. I think
He might
fans
resign.
will want to get rid of him. But some fans will be saying, "Oh, be careful what you wish for." Look at West Ham.
Yeah.
But the fans will be like, "I don't care. This is really boring to watch every week."
Yeah.
So it could go either way for Everton, but I think they'll be somewhere in the middle.
I think they might get Eddie Howe. That's my new hot take.
Okay.
Eddie Howe to Everton.
Do you think Carrick will last the season?
Yeah. I think the point at which we'd be bad enough for him to sack. I don't think will be that bad.
Okay.
Obviously, because I think he'll stay. What a stupid statement. I don't see any overlap between the range we would sack him and the range that we'll get. So I think we'll be fine.
Any other ways you want to put it?
I think we might sack him if we perform worse than I think we will.
Okay.
But given how well I think we'll be, we won't sack him.
Okay. Yeah.
What about you?
I think we might sack him. It depends whether we're bad enough for the board to make that decision.
Yeah.
As if we're good, I think they'll probably keep him.
Yeah. Do you think there's any chance he's good and we don't keep him?
No.
Any other permutations?
No. I think we've about
I think
covered
we've
everything.
comprehensively.
Do you want to do any other predictions? First manager sacked, top scorer, anything like that? First manager sacked, another one, very difficult.
Yeah. Maybe Maresca.
Wow. Controversial.
I think City might be really bad.
So that's your hot take?
No. I think Tyler Onyango will be good at Sheffield Wednesday. That's my hot take. But my other hot take is I think City might be sort of not Tottenham bad, but maybe us bad.
Okay. So is that the 7th or 8th?
Yeah.
Okay. You can't say might, though, if that's your hot take. You can't say might. So, I mean,
I'll stick with Tyler Onyango.
Yeah, that's just a little, thinker.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
What about you?
My hot take is that Fulham won't be as bad as the people think. Pretty hard. Scorching.
And your first manager sacked?
Abler. Hedging my bets. Let's go for Gary O'Neill.
Who does he manage?
Ipswich.
Okay. I'm clued up. We're really clued up.
Yeah. You could predict Gary O'Neill to be first manager sacked if he didn't manage anyone.
Yeah.
Someone might
quit,
resign, and they'll get Gary O'Neill because he's always available.
Did he get sacked from Strasbourg?
No.
Or did he get poached?
I think they poached him.
Ah, nice.
I mean, he was always waiting for a Premier League club to poach him.
No one
keeping some money coming in.
No one wants to manage Strasbourg.
No. Most Strasbourg managers are hoping Chelsea might poach them, but I don't think they'll do that again after Rossini. So.
Yeah. Any other business?
I don't think so. I think we've covered every topic on my little list.
Production wise, I think we're going to be much more ambitious this season. We're going to really push the growth.
Yeah,
that's my idea. Maybe with some clips on Spotify. Might put a video on Spotify.
Oh wow, can we do that?
Maybe. I've not checked. I might you can do a quiz on Spotify.
Okay.
Where you put a
quiz about the podcast,
or maybe more like a poll.
Okay.
Where you put like a question and some answers.
Do you like the podcast?
We're not doing that. We're not gonna expose ourselves to that. But put some more stuff out.
Yeah. More great stuff like this.
Yeah. I'm hoping. So YouTube have this new thing where if you're in the partner program, which we're not, they do, and you want to do like different thumbnails, they'll do some like AI generated thumbnails where it'll be like you crying or like you with
I've seen the
really ugly face.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we get some of them. That'd be cool.
Yeah, we could maybe do with putting our face on the thumbnail. That's
I might do that. I'll have to learn Canva.
Yeah, Canva's the big one. Or Photoshop. That's the classic.
Yeah. But I've got no free time, so I do have free time. So I can figure that out.
Yeah.
But some pro growth strategies.
Yes, pro growth.
Like Rachel Reeves. That'll be me.
Yes.
Growth.
Yes. Well, we should probably stop whittering on. This episode's rumbled on long enough.
Let people get back to their lives.
Yeah. But thanks everyone for coming back, as I knew you would, despite the radio silence for the last couple of months.
Yeah, we've built a very loyal audience.
Yes.
Mainly through decades of friendship, as opposed to, consistent high quality content.
Yeah, but let's try and
branch out.
Yeah, I think there's more room, more range with the high quality content.
Yeah.
I think we've used up all of our decades long friends.
Yeah, I think there's more chance of strangers than the friends of ours who haven't listened after the first year.
Yeah.
I think we're better off with fresh-faced strangers.
What's the word? Scalable. I don't think it's very scalable to stick with the people we know.
No, the live shows would be awkward.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, not awkward.
I mean, it'd just be like hanging out with our family and friends. That wouldn't be awkward.
I know, but I'd feel bad charging for the tickets.
Yeah. And we'd be up on the stage,
Yeah. But it could be fun, though.
Yeah, we'll think about it. Yeah. Right, well, thank you everyone for listening. Make sure you come back every week this season. We're not going anywhere, and neither are United. So there's plenty to talk about. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you out there.